Larry, let's start with Tucker Carlson interview with Putin. For almost 30 minutes, he was
Yeah.
talking about the history of Russia. In your opinion, what was the importance of this?
Well, he was trying to make it clear to people in the West that Russia's concern and involvement in Ukraine is not something that started in the last decade or the last 20 years. It didn't even start 100 years ago. Didn't start 200 years ago. Started 1,200 years ago at least. So, that's a concept that many people, particularly in America, have trouble understanding. We're like the Alzheimer's country, and what better leader to have than Joe Biden to represent the Alzheimer's country? Can't remember anything, much less history. It's like that song from the 1950s, early 1960s. Don't know much about history. Don't know much about biology. We don't know much. Well, that's why Putin was talking about it, because the emergence of Russia and the Novorossiya, as he referred to it, the Crimea area, this is long embedded in Russian history, and they remember. They haven't forgotten.
He said that they were building up the relationships with the United States. At the same time, the US and its satellites, he's talking about the European Union, were helping separatism and terrorist groups in Caucasus. If they were cooperating in Iraq, what was the necessity of doing that in Caucasus?
Well, because the goal of the West is to take and steal the resources of Russia. They want them all for themselves. The gold, the oil, the uranium, the gas, the nickel, the nitrogen. Russia has a vast mineral resources, and the West wants them, and they want to take them. So this is the equivalent of rape, only it's economic rape. But the United States is going to take it by force and consume it for itself, without regards to what it does to the Russian people.
Because when you look at this type of behavior, you see the same thing right now happening between United States and China. At the same time, they have conflict, considering Japan, considering Taiwan. They're asking China to help them in the Red Sea. It's so bizarre when you look at this type of behavior.
To quote Ronald Reagan, there you go again, being rational and logical, Nima. What's wrong with you? You're supposed to be irrational, illogical. Yeah, this would be as funny as a Monty Python skit, were not the fact that actually there are lives of people involved that are dying, and the United States is causing enormous damage and mayhem throughout the Middle East. But that the United States in one breath proclaims China as an enemy, and then has the balls to go to the Chinese and say, "Oh, would you help us out here in the Red Sea and get these Houthis to behave themselves?" The Chinese look at us like, "Oh, us help you? Why? So you can take more advantage of us?" There is a concept in many countries outside of the United States, particularly in China, which is called respect, saving face, not disrespecting, not humiliating. And the United States doesn't understand that. Most Americans are clueless when it comes to that. So we have a unique talent to go disrespect and piss people off. And then we wonder why don't they like us? Just because we killed a bunch of their family members. I mean, God, that's a bit. Why are they being so unreasonable? Oh Lord, it's sad.